So another surface that is fun to work with is tiles. You don't need to do anything with them to prep other than clean them with some isopropyl alcohol to make sure that there's no oils or whatnot on the surface. So I'm going to first cover the background of the tile. I'm going to end up making a tile with a flower on it, so I want to make sure the background is completely covered. I'm going to use my ink blower to blow the ink around. Trying to go for a little bit of a sky-ish look here. And the cool thing about tiles, especially when you're starting out, is if you don't like what's happening, you just clear them off and start right from scratch. It clears off beautifully, so you can have, you're not going to be wasting a lot of paper, a lot of product while getting to know how to use alcohol inks. So I'm going to leave that for the background. If you wanted, you could have it completely covered, but I'm just going to leave the modelly colored, modelly looking background there. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my, oops, well, we're going to go there, touch of isopropyl alcohol, and I'm going to blow it out. Now, if I were to use my air compressor, I would have a lot more air force, so I would be able to blow it out a little bit more, but that's totally fine. And I love how the pink and the sky color kind of blend together there a little bit. I'm going to leave it without the isopropyl alcohol. And I could have done it right in the center. I wanted to have it so that the part of the flower was a little bit off. So now let's do some purple. Tiles are also a fun thing to do for Christmas. I've seen lots of really neat Christmas tiles that people have done. But the alcohol moves really beautifully on it, so yeah, it's just a great surface, especially when you're starting out and you don't want to be wasting a lot of paper or whatever. It's a great way to get to know your product. So I'm going to choose, let's do a yellow in the center here. Usually I don't do, oh, that's kind of a dark yellow. Usually I don't go with yellows because it's not my favorite color, but I want the center of that to pop a little bit. There we go. And then if you wanted to add a little texture, these are little dental tools, and I'll link in the supply list where you can get them. But what you can do, I'm just going to put a little bit on my surface here. You can dip the dental tool in here. And then I get a little bit of texture in the center of the flower. Now, depending on how much alcohol I have on here, if I have only a tiny little bit of alcohol on here, I can control and get a little bit less texture to it. But it's a neat way to add some texture. I could even add some texture to the background if I wanted to. Now I have some yellow on here from being in here, so I'm getting a little bit of yellow there. But if you wanted to add a little bit of a polka dotted background, or say you were doing kind of an under the ocean theme or whatever, you could do little bubbles. But there you go. Just a cute little surface to work on, and it dries super, super quick. So some of these thicker areas are still wet, but it dries really quite quick. So it is a great surface to be playing and practicing on.